Four, three. Okay, we're at three. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
It is Tuesday, August 4th, 2020, and we two are the two Virgos, Beck and Jennifer. And
Yes.
today we want to thank you for joining us. If you are joining us on Facebook, that's awesome. Rock. If you are joining us or seeing this on pardon me, on YouTube, then you rock too. Hey. But we just want to talk about a little bit about mental health, because it seems like, there's various reasons, but we're at the end of, in our state, we're at the end of the shutdown and at the beginning of starting to be free again, but we still have to wear the masks and can't shop at certain times, and only a certain number of people are allowed into the stores. And for me, I'm just getting tired of it all. So we just want to talk a little bit about mental health. And see my new necklace. It's a kitty cat. It's a locket.
It's pretty.
My friend Kayla just gave it to me. Kirby.
What's in it?
Right now, there's nothing. Just a little purple piece of felt. I can't open it.
That's cool.
So, but yeah, she surprised me with it.
No, it's very sweet of her.
This in a rose quartz crystal.
Cool.
Very awesome. Oh, hey, I got it open. See, it's a little locket.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
Cute, huh? And then there's a little piece of felt that I'm keeping in there because it makes the cat look purple. So.
Oh, it's true. Okay.
So, what do you have to say about mental health and what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's a very under-addressed issue in our country. And I think it's often ignored by family members, by close friends. I don't know if it's because they don't know how to deal with it, or if they don't want to deal with it in some cases. Or I think a lot of the time it's they don't know how to cope. Depressed people are really good at hiding it too, though. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And people will take you at face value for that. And I think this whole lockdown has been a struggle for people. We've been isolated.
Yeah.
We are not meant to be isolated. We're social creatures. Some of us can be alone, me being one of them. Be alone for hours at a stretch. I'm good with it. But a lot of the time, most people need not constant, but need companionship. They long for it. And we've been separated from each other, and I think it's taken its toll on people. And I think wearing the masks is, even though it's a very divided subject, the mask wearing, people have their reasons for wanting to wear them, and then people are like, they have their reasons for not wanting to wear them, But I think no matter who's wearing it, when you wear it for extended periods of time, it's annoying, I go to work and I have to wear this mask. It's like, Kylie, and I have to wear it. And it's whatever. I'm wearing the mask, but holy it's very uncomfortable. You're hearing your own shit all day, and you get sweating, and condensation fogs up your glasses. Your bangs go flat. Like it's a real issue, But aside for whatever your personal thing is, I think everything is taking its toll on people. Kids can't go play. Their parents are, you love your children. Oh, Lord, we all know you love your children. But after him beating on that drum for, 6 hours straight, you're going to lose your friggin' mind. Like, it's just the way it is. Well, you shouldn't have had them kids. It's like, I hate when kids are kids, and you love your kids all the time, but they're still people, and they still, and you get on their nerves too. It's mutual. Hello. So I think a lot of people are very stressed and are very, cooped up. Some of them are choosing to be hostile. Others are, I guess there's been a lot of suicides during this pandemic, people losing their jobs. It's devastating.
Yeah.
It's devastating, and it's not right. And there are coping mechanisms for it. I'm not a psychologist. but I know what it's like to wake up and put your human suit on, you know, so that you can walk through life and look normal. So I get that. And, you know, there are things, you know, maybe if somebody would have told me, you know, it's okay to be strange. It's okay to be, you know, but you still have to do the things. You know what I mean? Because life's hard, man, for most of us. And that's just our reality. And this whole pandemic has just been a nightmare because it's already been hard. Now they're cutting off the unemployment. And I have an opinion about that. And I'd like to say something about that real quick. Because I never minded that they got the extra money, even though I was an essential worker working through it, making my wage. My company was decent to me. I got bonuses and, you know what I mean? They've been very agreeable through everything. So I have no complaints there, but it just is what it is. It's life. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm working and I'm healthy and I'm here. So I'm just going to do my job. Mind you, these people, some of them had to wait months before they got any unemployment. There was weeks where people couldn't even get through, whether it be processing online or on the phone. I mean, it was a nightmare. Our mutual Facebook friend, Danny, had that trouble. 3 weeks, was it? I mean, that was absurd, right? So during all of this time, and there was a low-key one. I heard of ones, I mean, that just got situated in the beginning of July, you know, or the middle of July or whatever. So these people have gotten this money, and yes, they got a lot of money, and that's great, but they had a lot of bills to pay. You know what I mean? By the time that money came through, these people were like on the verge of evictions, losing everything. You know what I mean? So, and people are like, now they're talking about, oh, well, if you didn't save any of that money. And I'm like, what? That takes a whole lot of balls. You don't know people's circumstances. What if they're taking care of an elderly person? What if they have a special needs child? What if they're sick? What if they're off work because of their foot? You know what I mean? And can't get any help. Like, you know, I mean, there's a multitude of reasons you really don't know what their money went to. There's always a percentage who are going to blow their wad and be stupid and make bad decisions. But the majority, I would like to think, are responsible enough to have paid off bills, probably bought major appliances they've needed for 10 years. You know what I mean? They're like, holy crap, we can get that fridge finally. You know, because they've been using some fridge they found in the garbage, or they got it odds and, you know, Big Lots or something 15 years ago for $100. I'm tired of that uppity shit. I work just as hard as everyone else. And I don't think it's fair. And that's also depressing because now these people are going to get their money cut off and they're still not back to work. So they're going to go down to what? Half of what they normally make. So I suspect there should be more depression coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's two sides to every coin. It doesn't matter. We all get our karma, man. So the whole time these people are getting their money, you're just sitting there putting out bad energy. Right? Well, you'll get that back. You know, all for the sake of a few $100. Like, it doesn't even matter. It's really been sad to watch the breakdown of people. And I know a lot of it's coming from the confinement, coming from the isolation. People just can't handle it. You know, we're meant to be in the sun. You know, we're meant to be with each other. And now we're all kind of not. It's like become the opposite of that. You know, people are paranoid. I went to the doctor the other day to get the procedure, and he didn't show. Which, thanks for that. Anyway, I have allergies, so you know, I just have this constant sinus, just dripping. It's just right. So I cough. It happens once in a while. It's a buildup of phlegm. I can't help it. It just drains. And I went right. And she got up and moved away, and I was like, why don't you just go to the other side? There's nobody there, right? And I'm across I was like, I have sinuses. Just ask me. Sinuses? Yep. You know, allergies? Oh, yeah.
There was somebody in the waiting room did that to you?
And she goes, we got to understand. I was like, I understand. And I did. I understood a whole lot, you know, but I think I would ask somebody, like, Lisa, you got allergy? Trust me, it's allergies, you know. It was weird being on the other end of that. But as a person who can see, it's scary. It's scary to people to think that they can get sick like that. So, of course, her reaction was a natural one, you know. And as much as I wanted to be like, you know, which I really shouldn't have been. Anyway, I couldn't, because I kind of understood. For a minute, I was a little put off. I was like, holy crap, but then I was like, people are scared, and she was very apologetic about it,
Yeah.
So, and I felt bad. I felt bad that she was that scared. I feel bad for anybody that has that much fear, like to be that afraid. I'm just not that afraid of anything but God and the IRS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing, because if it's going to get me, it's going to get me. I can prevent it as much as I can, and I try. But if I'm meant to go, I'm going to go, so I can do the best I can.
Some people are still really, really, really super afraid. And,
yeah.
There are
And
people.
I think it's bad to be that afraid. I mean,
yeah. Well,
living in this constant state of fear is nothing for the mental health. You know what I mean? That just makes you paranoid. It makes you afraid. It does all kinds of negative things, being fearful, as opposed to, but how can you not? People can't help it. It's just a defensive mechanism we have. I think so many things are affected by this pandemic, like the isolation alone, and then being trapped with the same personalities and everything for months and months and months. Like, I'm married to a man, but like, you're not supposed to be here 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? Like, it just, because then too much exposure is too much too. You gotta have a balance, at least for me.
Okay, so I think somebody from
all day. I'm sorry.
Hi, Joshy Hater and Hacker, who I believe is on YouTube. His birthday is September 1st. So that makes him a Virgo too. Hi, fellow Virgo. We're glad that you're joining us.
That makes you awesome.
That makes you awesome. And we would really love to hear your perspective on everything, because we are both Virgos and pretty opinionated about things. And, sometimes we see things from a completely opposite perspective, but we meet in the middle. So, Hey, welcome. And hopefully you can join us again next Tuesday at the same time. We will be here. And we're also on Facebook too. So the two Virgos, if you want to join, we'd love to have you. Nice meeting you, Joshy.
Yes.
That's my son's name. And my daughter's birthday is September 1st.
That's cool.
So, but yes, being locked up in a place with somebody for such a long time, that can wear on anybody, I think.
Definitely. People
either
alone, so.
What?
I said people need alone time too. You gotta be alone with yourself.
Well, I think maybe that it either makes it so that you realize how much you really have in common, or how much you really don't have in common, and you're just not even in the same world as each other. But I do know that, and I'll post some of this on our page. I'll post the numbers for family and children's services in our area, and family and children's services in Erie County, so that anybody who might be having to deal with some domestic violence is what do you call that? Like a side effect of having to stay in the same house with somebody who,
Imagine those people. I think we talked about that before, and I don't know, several shows back, about the kids who were left home that are abused, who going to school was a rescue, and the women whose husbands were at work, or vice versa, because women are abusers too. It's not just men. It's a common misconception. I just think that men have a harder time reporting that a woman beats them. Do you know what I mean? And that's not because they're anything other than conditioned to believe that men should be stronger than women. And the minute that's not a thing, I think it's like because same thing, like women are supposed to be the submissive and the men are the alpha, the dominant, but sometimes women are insane, and strong and terrifying,
I'm an alpha woman. Hell yeah. I'm an alpha woman. I make no apologies.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Elise says John and I get along. I'm the menopausal one. We're fortunate.
Yeah. Me and my
I
husband.
thought I was menopausal until speaking of that, I thought I was menopausal until I was in a Facebook conversation in a group, and one of the men in the group put me on like a timeout or whatever it's called on Facebook. So I was like shut down. I was silenced for 24 hours and I was pissed. Oh my God. I was so mad that
Yeah.
I think my alpha woman came out because I thought I was in menopause until about an hour after that happened. I was so mad that I sprung a leak
Yeah.
to show
Well,
my
there's nothing wrong
womanhood.
with being an alpha woman. I'm just saying that, because I'm a strong woman too, and I'm do what I want and how I want it and whatever. You know what I mean? That's just, but I do believe that it's a mutual thing that abusers can be male and female. So,
Yeah.
and abuse comes in all forms. It's not necessarily physical. You can mentally abuse someone, verbally abuse someone, never lay a finger on them and destroy them. As the thing with people is they have to, and as hard as it is, you cannot allow people to control your vibe. You can't let people that close. That's your power. That's you. And I forgot that when I was that shadow, I guess it's the best word for it, that shadow that was walking around. And then one day I realized, I'm like, hang on, like, it's me. It's all me. I have to do the things. I have to change it. No one's going to help me. No one even notices. But you're good at hiding it. You get real good at hiding it. I think depressed people are the best actors. They should win Oscars for walking through life every day. Because you never know, and that just breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart that people are walking around the verge of committing suicide. Like, I just can't. And we will leave the suicide hotline number as well, because there's just no reason. It's a moment. It might be a really long friggin' moment. It might be a moment that seems like years, but it's just a moment. It won't stay that way. It really doesn't stay that way. It doesn't.
I'm writing this down.
Yeah, I think that's important. Just wish you could save everybody, just fix everything and make everything okay. So if you're thinking of doing anything bad to yourself, don't. The world loves you. We love you. Everybody, we just gotta know that, And
Yeah, well,
themselves. Not you. I mean, in general. I don't think you're there. But if anybody is feeling that way, don't listen to your favorite song.
Listen to your favorite song several times. Listen to it when you're in the shower. You can dance it around. Woo!
You should listen to Conditions of My Parole. It's such a great song. And it's funky. And it'll get you dancing. You can't even help yourself. Or some Tragically Hip. You just can't help but move your leg. Just the beat starts. And you're just like, oh, man, I feel like I should be in a bar with a beer. Around a bunch of hockey players.
Not my thing. But
not mine either. But they make you feel good.
Nope, not me. I just put a song list together on Spotify.
You don't like that, right?
No, it's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Tommy Skeel.
Yeah, we know.
Yep, he's got great music, and he's on my Spotify. But on my Spotify playlist is a whole bunch of upbeat, dancing around kind of music. Whip, whip it helps.
Whip it good.
Oh, whip it.
Yo, Devo's so good. They're just awesome. I like bad punk music anyway, so I guess I don't really rate. Is it good?
Yeah, Tragically Hip. I mean, I've heard of the Tea Party. You got to listen to Canadian radio because they give you.
I don't. Tea Party. Talking shit about Rush. I'm like, so we don't talk.
What? What are you talking about?
No Tea Party. They talk shit about Rush. So I feel some type of way against, Actually, I've never even heard their music, so I don't. At least I don't think I have. Joe would probably say I have. Yes, you have. You just don't remember. That's probably what he'd say to me. So, let me see. Tea party. Tea party. What kind of...
Well, I don't know. They can have opinions, though. But I've heard them a couple times. I said they can have opinions.
Doesn't mean I have to like it.
No, I'm not saying you like it. I'm just saying I like them as opposed to Tragically Hip. It's not really my cup of tea. I like poppy dance music.
It's what?
I like poppy dance music, like Duran Duran and Justin Timberlake, and I like Katy Perry.
I like her one song. Not that song. The one where she's in ancient Egypt for the video. Dark Horse.
Yeah.
I like that song. But I like the video because I love ancient Egypt. So, and it's cool. Even though she kind of like embellished it, it was great. Like, I loved it. But that's it. Oh, E.T.'s okay. Her song E.T. I like that.
I don't think I ever heard it.
Oh. And I did like Justin Timberlake's Sexy Back. Is that what that was? I don't listen to it anymore, but it's so funny how different we are in music. I did, Duran Duran, I just can't let go of because of this nostalgia.
Yeah.
I mean, the Reflex, I still do listen to that song once in a while.
Because it's awesome.
It is. They were great. And I'm really grateful that I listened to Duran Duran when I was younger because they kind of, set the tone for what kind of pop music I would listen to in the future, which is virtually none. But they were one of the best bands ever. So now I believe they influenced, because they were so much more than just a pop band. They were very talented. And they were also, their videos, they were very visually. I mean, weren't they the first one? Hungry Like the Wolf was like the first, like real, video that told a story or something, didn't it? Wasn't it something like that? I think it was. Wasn't that big? Duran Duran's Hungry Like the Wolf video? Wasn't they like one of the long, first movie concept videos or something? Yeah, it was up there. Sure. Yeah, it was like, it had some kind of kudos or something, or maybe they're just credited for being that band. I don't know. But Hungry Like the Wolf, and the titles are so lame now, though. Like Hungry Like the Wolf. Anywho.
So Lee says, I love music. I can understand and relate. Doesn't matter who's singing. Because you're awesome.
Nah, see, some music appeals to me and some doesn't. Pop music doesn't really. But I like funky, happy, quick, that's why I like the hip, because they're quick and they're fun and they're clever. So I do listen to happy music. It's just not popular music. It's just a different kind of happy music, And it does matter who's singing, because I would rather listen to Dennis DeYoung sing. The man's voice than Kurt Cobain. Or Freddie Mercury, or Jeff Tate, or Billy Corgan. I could just go right down the line. It does matter, I think, to me.
So what does Joe have any thoughts? I see him bopping around back there. Does he have any thoughts about the whole, does he want to be in this? I want to hear his thoughts too.
No, he's busy. He's gone now. He thinks people should get help. But, that people have to admit it to themselves. People have to want the help. And sometimes people don't have the strength to get it. They don't even have the strength to pick up a phone. They don't have the strength to take a shower.
Well, I think when that happens, it's because you feel like nothing matters. You don't matter. You don't matter. I know I've thought that before. I don't matter, so why bother? Yeah. Or it doesn't matter. If you don't have a focus or an intention or, a plan B, then chances are you're going to feel like nothing matters. At least that's my thought.
But the thing is, you do matter. Even when you think you don't, even when you're at your lowest, you're here for a reason. Maybe you're 62 and your reason hasn't hit yet. Maybe you have to live to be 72 to save that kid walking across the street. The whole reason you existed. Which may seem like shit to you, but that boy is now going to live for the rest of his life, maybe become the president of the United States, maybe change policies, maybe who knows what that kid's going to do, but you're solely responsible for that kid's existence. You're here to help people. Everybody's here for a reason, and you have to find it within yourself to at least preserve that. But there's trauma that you and I don't even understand. In child molestation, I hate pedophiles, and I think they should all die. Every freaking one of them. And I don't care if that's a peaceful way of thinking. There's no room for that DNA in this planet. You heard. Anywho. So that is a trauma I don't understand. I can't even imagine trying to heal from that. Like, I don't even know.
Me either.
But you have to, because you're here for something. You know what I mean? You're here to serve a purpose. It's funny because Joe and I sometimes, we talk about like just words that you say to people. Like, you see a woman in the store, like I would always compliment people because I like your shoes, Man, your hair is awesome. Like this one chick, she had these braids. Oh my God. They were cool, and they were long and they were cool. They were just nice. And I was like, your hair. I was like, I love your hair, and that small comment, she walked away with a smile on her face, first of all. Not that it was anything epic, but I'm just saying you never know who you're dealing with. So that little compliment you pay, the word that you say to them, even if you say it's going to be okay, they might just need to hear that. People affect people. Well, what am I here for? You might be here to tell your neighbor, that, oh my God, your lawn looks so amazing. Just because that neighbor was going to go hang themselves in the backyard. You just don't know. And that was not funny laughter. That was nervous laughter. Because, the absurdity. Human life is a gift, even when it doesn't seem like it's a gift. Because in our natural state, we can't pet animals. We don't feel fur. We don't taste that delicious cup of coffee. We don't know what it's like to love and have heartbreak and climb that mountain and feel water between our toes. Because we're spirits. We don't have any of those. Being a human being entitles us to a whole world we'd never experience.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a gift, even when it seems like a curse, but you have to pull yourself up somehow, some way. You have to find your worth in it because everybody's worth it. And we're all equal. We're all equally worth it. Nobody is worth more than the other. I don't care what they've accomplished. Most people, and this is funny, success, it's a thing that I was reading. Success comes easily to people who are already successful because their mindset is, I can't fail. I'm going to succeed. So they, in turn, succeed because all they're putting out into the universe is that wonderful karma and law of attraction of I am amazing. I succeeded everything. I'm doing it. And that's why millionaires become billionaires and successful people like Elon Musk. You know what I mean? This man is just wham, bam, bam. He's had his failures, but at the same time, he's had many, many, many successes because in his mind, he is a raging success. So you have somebody that walks around thinking that they're not worthless and not worth anything. That's what you are going to, in turn, draw to you. It's easy to stay in those places. They're very comfortable, even though they're devastating. Your mind is reeling. You're depressed. You can't think of a reason to step out of bed. It is painful, literally, to just be awake. And sleep will offer the only peace you get. But it's better. Each day could be better. You just have to change your mindset. You know what I mean? You have to change your mindset, which is almost impossible when you're that depressed. And you're hiding it. So nobody really knows what you're going through. So you can't even hope that somebody is like, she's like on the verge of jumping off the roof. I think we should intervene, because they believe what you say. I'm fine.
So what would you say if somebody was, in your opinion, on, like if it was you and somebody came up out of the clear blue and said, by the way, you need to change how you feel. Here's a number you can call. You just have to change how you feel. Just change it.
I don't think I would put it that way. I'm just trying to simplify it because that makes it seem.
But I'm wondering if you were approached, how would you take it? Because I'm wondering if people are that so into what they're thinking and how they're feeling that if somebody just abruptly came up,
they would be very upset. How dare you? You don't know me. And you're right. I don't. I think it's the approach. And it's different when you have family and friends, and it's always difficult to tell somebody when, but the thing is I think people, I'm not going to speak, I'm going to speak for people like myself, or people like generally want somebody to care. They want somebody to come up to them and say, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You need anything? Can I help you? Can I give you a phone number? Do you need to talk? I think that people would find that most people would actually talk to them. You wouldn't believe how many people just vomit information to me. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I don't tell anyone else's business because that's not cool. But if you feel the need to come up to me and tell me, if that makes you feel better, just telling me about what happened to you last week in the park, then tell me.
Yeah.
I'll just listen. I'll listen all day. I have no judgment. I don't care. You do what you got to do. But if it is going to make you feel better, I am there. I will hear you. I will listen to you, and I will offer you any kind of comfort that I can offer you. But my go-to thing all the time when I'm comforting people, I tell them, it's all you. No matter what you do, the world is on the outside. The only thing that you can change and have complete control over is yourself. You have to find the strength within you to change, to move on, to whatever it is that you need to do. Because in the end, we're born alone and we die alone. And you are the only thing that can, it's you. You're going to just go through life sad. Be sad, but go through life. Get over the sadness. Be happy. Be afraid. Do the things. Be afraid and do them. Just do them.
Lisa says I'm the same way. I'll listen all day and help how I can. That's how I am.
Yep.
I will hold somebody's hand through it. I'll find the telephone numbers. I'll go to the meetings with you. I'll do whatever it takes.
Yep.
So that, somebody doesn't feel like they're alone in it, because we don't want to lose anybody.
No, and people aren't alone. The thing is I think people think they're alone when you're really not. All you gotta do is reach out. You know what I mean? Like, really. I think people are far more caring and giving than people give them credit for being. Everyone's afraid to approach each other, talk to each other, or whatever. If you're my friend, I'm not a good example because I don't really share information with anybody. Mm-hmm. I talk to you, my mom, my daughter sometimes. So, but as far as most people are receptive, most people are like, okay, because they're usually in the same predicament. It's like the boy liking the girl and the girl liking the boy, and neither one of them going for each other because they don't know how they feel. If they would just kind of walk up to you and say, wow, I think you're cute. Well, I think you're cute. And well, we both know this now. You'd be surprised at how many friendships. But people are very isolated and afraid. Reach out to people. Reach out. Do what you can. I'll sit down next to someone. If I get a vibe off of them and they're not, I'll just sit right down and what's up? You all right? What's going on? Look at me. I've actually had, you look funky, man. You need to spit. I don't even know this person. And next thing you know, they're, oh my God, I wrecked my car last week, and I'm like, I don't even know your name. But they vented, and now they have a better day for it. And they're like, damn, I feel better. Well, who'd you talk to? I don't freaking know. Some chick sat down next to me and asked me how I was doing. Because people want to talk. Now, I'm not saying everybody's like that. I'm not saying, approach everybody, because there are some crazy people out there. But if you work with somebody and they're low, or they're not looking right, or maybe they didn't wash their hair for the third day in a row, maybe say, hey, you want to go get a cup of coffee? How you feeling? You feeling all right? Even if they don't say anything to you, you reached out. That in itself is something. one thing I notice is that you will always ask somebody how they're doing. Very few people ask you how you are back. And I think if most people, more people tried to do that, it's like, how are you today? Oh, I'm good. How are you? Literally should roll off your tongue, even if you don't mean it. But what it does for the person you're saying it to, they don't know if you mean it or not. And they don't really care to know, but they know that you said it. And you're like, wow, so somebody might give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really just a matter of words to each other. And if we were more caring and more, because we need to take care of each other. It's what we do. I mean, think of us as meerkats. Do you know what I mean? A tribe of meerkats. You got the ones that look out for the other ones that go look out and defend. And you got the family. It's a community. And they all take care of each other. They're all crazy. Humans are crazy. We're meerkats. We're like a tribe of meerkats in the middle of the plains. But we should be looking out for one another, and there should be nobody hurting themselves or suffering. We shouldn't let people suffer. If your friend's depressed, make her get in the shower. Make her go outside, get some vitamin D. Some people just need to be made, because they can't do it themselves.
Well, I've noticed that there are some people that are at their happiest when they appear to me. They're projecting like they're very depressed and woe is me and, down on life and so dark and gothic, but that's where they're happiest being, I've noticed.
Yeah, there are some people that love comfort. I mean, the misery loves company came from somewhere, I mean, there are just some people who are melancholy and just don't want. But I don't think those people are depressed. I think that's just their nature. They're just, I'm a vapor, I'm a wisp. I don't think they're depressed, though. I think they choose to just be melancholy and, I've actually met people like that, where they're just very...
Well, no, I mean, I know a few people who will post on Facebook every day. For one, I think it's good because they're reaching out and they're expressing their feelings. So that's half the battle. But they express every day about, why is my life so terrible? Why is I'm always getting the short end of the stick?
Woe is me.
Well, very woe is me. And
well, that's why there, because they keep talking about it. They keep speaking it into existence. First of all, you can totally answer. The next time they say that. Tell them, well, you're doing it. Well,
I'm saying, I think that some people are that's their happy place is when they're feeling that way, because I think it's the only way they know to open up a conversation with somebody. Because when you say something like that, like, I'm so depressed, some people are going to jump in and, why? What's the matter? Or those are the same people that are like, I am so fat. Because they know other people are going to be like, no, you're not. And,
People say that? You say I'm fat, nobody says I'm not fat.
No, people all the time say I'm so fat or whatever. I say it. I'm so fat. I'm so chubby. But I say it just because I'm like old enough to know I'm a big girl. But some people just say things like that to provoke attention. So from what I understand about being in the mindset where you might take your own life, those are the people that don't say anything.
Yes. Could say, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I'm okay. It's all good, man.
Like Robin Williams. Look at how hilarious he was. And then he committed suicide. I mean, that was such a sad, sad loss. So sad.
Yeah. God, it was so funny in the birdcage, in that kitchen scene, just tears pouring down my face. For some, I thought I couldn't believe it. When I found out it was all improv, I was like, oh my God. So now when I watched it, I laugh even harder because they're laughing like authentically. Like you could just see. And Jumanji.
I have to watch it one of these times.
You gotta
Never
watch
seen
Birdcage.
Jumanji.
Everybody should watch Birdcage. It is such a great. I like it. It's a great movie.
Yeah, I think my mom told me she liked it, but she's a big fan of the other one that's in it.
Who?
Um,
Oh, the
the
guy.
shorter, the
Yeah,
shorter.
yeah. Oh, he's fantastic in it.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I'm just not a movie person. I'm not saying I
Yeah.
won't watch it.
You should, if you
But
get a chance. You should. It's worth it. It's worth the comedy and the plates or the bowls. The bowl scene's so fantastic. It's so funny. You really should watch the movie. Like it's really a laugh right out of the gate.
yeah, I'll watch it one of these times. Sometime I'll watch it. So, have you had anybody come up to you and say that I can't do this anymore. I can't live. I don't know how to get out of this. Has anybody ever come to you and said anything like that?
Well, I've had people talk to me, and they even come right out and, well, maybe they have. I don't know. Maybe in a roundabout way where you understand that they're really reaching. It doesn't take much to help people. People mostly want to know that somebody gives a shit. Even if it's somebody, it doesn't matter. They just really want someone to, we all think that we have these. One thing that getting older I've realized is that people don't have the relationships that, like, I have a very close-knit family, and I have great relationships with my parents and my family and my kids and my close friends, the people that I talk to every day that are in my life that I love dearly, and I have them. So I don't really, like, struggle with that. I mean, there are moments, but, like, for the most part, but a lot of people don't have that. And I thought for the longest time that people did. They got to have friends. They got to have family. They got to have this. The thing is a lot of people don't. They really don't. They're truly alone in the world, whether it be by their own choice, by family dying off, no siblings, no. Some people work so much they can't make friendships. And the one thing I've also realized is that people find it incredibly difficult to make friends. Like, there's a lot of superficiality in the world. People are and I think that's because people are very worried about themselves. It's a different world now. Things move, money, money, money. Be the best, be the best, be the best. And people are working their asses off or doing whatever. You find the people that are chill and, not living that fast-paced life. They have friends. But for the most part, people they're lonely. They're lonely people. And you see the most popular girl in high school, and you're like, oh my God, she must be. But she goes home and her father's drunk, beats her mother. You just don't know. So I've started to realize that people are generally lonely and all they want is companionship. And I believe that if we had more of that, more of a community, more of a, take us back to the Stone Age where we had to rely on each other and not our technology, just each other, you would see that we would flourish. And less people, I think, would be depressed because we would be involved with each other and we would be active and we would be doing things together and we would be there for each other the way we're supposed to be. But everyone's very selfish. Will they take? Do they take? But a long time ago, I learned, years ago, because I couldn't understand that so many people coming and going. And I'm like, huh, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, you just can't come and take and go. Like, it used to make me mad, But then I realized, I was like, well, I think that's just the way it is for you. You're going to have your friends, and I do. But for the most part, people are just going to come and take what they need and go on their merry way. But it's meant to help them. And once I accepted that, it was okay. I was like, all right, I get it. But sometimes, man, it's a bitch. You call me every 6 months, and I'm like, I got to remind myself, like, it's because they need you, and you should be there, I'm like, where the fuck have you been for 6 months, But people are busy, and I think it's an honor. I really do. I just have somebody contact you and come to you because they're feeling some type of way and they think you can help. Please, it's so it's such an honor and it's such a humbling. You're just like, oh my God, like I'm so not qualified for this, but I will do my best to help you. It means a lot when somebody trusts you enough. Doesn't matter if I don't talk to you every 6 months. I'm just talking shit. I don't really care. If I can help you, I'm going to help you if I can.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if we all did that, really, truly embraced our natures and became more involved like the ancients were with each other, it would be a whole different dynamic. And I think a lot of people would feel a lot better about life because they would have something to look forward to and they would have a support system.
But I wonder, no matter what, is the brain chemical still going to create a depression, whether you have a house full of people that love you or just your mom there who loves you, or you don't have anybody there, but maybe a pet or a fish, you know what I mean? Or nobody. Is the brain chemicals, is it still going to produce that mood or that angst, whatever it is you're feeling, no matter who's around you or what the circumstances are, whether we're in the current day of technology or we go back to the ancients? It had to have come from somewhere.
I think people are just people for the most part. But again, there's always a percentage of a population that might have chemical imbalances or may have a tendency towards whatever. I'm not a psychologist. I do understand that certain people do certain things for certain reasons, or they think those are the reasons. Ted Bundy blames porn. The guy says this did it, and you're like, okay, but not everybody's wired that way. That's like 1% of a population, and you would hope that it wouldn't. And I'm sure even back then people were affected. I'm sure suicide was a thing, of course. But again, if you're talking about like ancient Roman people, that's basically modern society now. Back then, just without the modern tech, the people were very much. See, a lot of people have this idea that maybe the ancients were like not as smart or not as advanced. They weren't as advanced technologically. That's the only place they weren't as advanced. Their burial practices were very advanced. Their architecture was extremely advanced. Some of the shit we can't even erect today. It was so advanced, and they still don't know how they did it. So, that's the only difference between us and the ancients, is the technologically speaking. If you really want to, back they had government, back there they had disagreements. I'm sure they had psychiatrists, healers, and I'm sure they had depression. Go a little further back, before we became, when we were still like warring tribes, before that, when we were just people settled in land in a community with jobs. You're a farmer, you do the plowing, you do the seeding, you do this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, you milk the cows, you slaughter the goats.
Cro-Magnon people.
Yeah, everybody's busy. Like, go back to the Vikings. Okay, you go hunt, you go fish, I slaughter the animals, I sew the clothes. They were all busy. And then when they were all done being busy, instead of going to their houses and being alone, they usually went to the lodge and got hammered with each other. And you know what I mean? That's community. Nowadays, people go to work and they're in their phones, even at their job. They're watching their videos, doing their things, their TikToks, but they're not talking to each other. People aren't, none of those things. The community is not a thing. People don't go and harvest with each other. People don't go and watch the plays with each other. All the wonderful things that would gather us, like plays and open shows, and those things are all coming to an end. People are too busy walking around in their phones and relying on their technology to live. You don't even need to, like me and you right now. We're not even in the same room. Yet we're talking, I'm an old-fashioned girl. I like being in the face of the person I'm talking to. I feel it's more intimate, more personal. We're not like that anymore. We've become so separated that we can't even, and we forget that we're actually all connected. So there's a row of people, in a very long hotel. I'm lonely. I'm playing my video game. I'm lonely. I'm stoned. Well, if y'all just got together and just hung out and got stoned and played video games all in the same room, y'all wouldn't be lonely. Just knock on the door or see each other get nice. Say, yo, what are you doing, man? Because people are receptive. People want companionship. They want to be loved. They want to be liked. They want to be desired. They want to be a part of things. but we're also busy alienating and isolating our own selves from each other. And the benefit of that is depression and sadness, disconnection. That's what isolation brings you. And it only brings more of it.
Do you find it funny that way back when people were in like tribes and they were all together, you know, sleeping next to each other and working together face to face, you know, trying to create language, you know, the spoken word, you know, way back when. And you compare that to now where everybody is self-isolated before this virus even came. People were, you know, the kids are sitting in the house playing the video games. The older kids are sitting on their phones. I'm sitting on my phone in front of my laptop. That's what I do. But now all of a sudden that we all decided to pretty much self-isolate before the virus came. And then now this virus is here that's saying everybody was too busy hanging out together. Now we have to isolate. Is that crazy? Because we weren't anyway. I don't think we were hanging out together at all. I think we've all just been doing our own thing. And now the government's like, you have to stop hanging out. And nobody was hanging out. I don't know if you noticed it, but there's, you know, this, you know, Wi-Fi everywhere. Yeah. Everybody's looking in their phone. Nobody is breathing on each other. Nobody is hanging out. So why are you telling us to isolate now? Because this man-made virus came along? Are you kidding?
Yeah, and it's just more of a way. And then you figure that, again, we just discussed the wonderful repercussions of isolation, which induces depression and all sorts of other terrible things, which chooses to divide us even further and cause even more conflict. So that leads to division. So there's just so many people need people. We need each other, and we need to go back to being a community of people where, oh, she's not feeling good. She's been, you know, sleeping for 4 days straight. All right, bitch, you know, it's time to get up, get in the shower, and we're going to scrub you clean, and we're going to put a little mascara on your ass, and we're going to go out. And enough's enough. You know, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to sob for days. Lord knows when my cat died, I did. You know, I sobbed like a blubbering idiot. I couldn't even die more than that damn cat. But you have to at some point stop. And not all of us, and most of us, do not have people to help us with that. So whether it's because of indifference or because they don't know, or whatever the reason is, you know, we need to be more aware of each other, and we need to care more. We need to care more about that. Well, I don't know that person. Doesn't matter. They're a friggin' person. They're a human being. Every human being in this world deserves to live, except for pedophiles.
Yeah, I agree.
They're the only ones. So, you know, and then I think that fundamentally that's what we have to do. I mean, again, I'm not a psychologist. I don't act like I know, because I don't know shit. But I do know that when people interact with each other and when communities are tight and close, like everyone talks shit about the Amish. Okay. First of all, them Amish are not poor people. They're very rich people, most of them. And they're a community. And when one of them gets sick, the whole community takes care of them. You get married and go on a vacation or whatever, your house is scrubbed clean, groceries are stocked, your first day dinner is made. That is what you should do. No one is allowed to fall by the wayside unless they violate the rules of the Amish community. But if you get sick, if anything happens, if you need anybody, anything, they are there for each other. That is why they are so successful. They're very successful communities, very appealing communities, frankly. I don't see anything wrong with living a natural life on a farm. I'm sorry, I don't. I think it would be a wonderful life. You know, I'm not trying to do that, but I don't know. I give it up to
that's definitely some micromanagement right there, because you live in that community where you are being micromanaged.
Yeah, but you choose to be. They can leave anytime they want. They don't have to stay there. But that's what they know. That's what they're raised to be. That's their way of life, and most of them don't want to do that. But there's been kind of some changes happening lately about certain, you know, I watch a lot of documentaries because I work a lot. So I remember I told you I watch the videos, I listen while I'm working, And I listened to 2-hour-long Amish documentaries about these guys who are leaving it because they don't agree. They agree with the Amish life. They want the Amish life. They just don't. It's like almost set up like Catholicism. Everything goes through the cardinals and the Pope before it reaches the people. It's kind of the same setup. And they're like, no, that's just not how it should work. It should be another way. But my point with them is they're a community. And how many Amish suicides do you hear about?
I don't hear about anything Amish.
Yeah.
Other than
they're very private and they're very close and they take care of each other. Now, I'm sure that there's discord. I don't claim to know everything about the Amish. I'm sure that there are certain disagreements and discord, but for the most part, even the people leaving the Amish in that documentary still love them. And they had nothing bad to say. It is just a mindset of, and even though we're leaving the community, we're still going to take care of our people. And they did, and it's important. And that's why they flourish, and that's why they're strong, and that's why they're tight knit. And you can't get in because they protect each other and they take care of each other. And if someone's depressed, they're there to counsel. Somebody's there. And it's got to, it really comes down to, I think, human interaction in most cases. Which I don't even know how you would help someone who was hurt when they were a child. There's just no words or I don't even.
There's just gotta
be there.
That's what the crisis hotlines are for.
Yeah, you got to be there. Just, it's hard to trust people. Like, how do you trust people? So I understand. When you're hurt as a child, been there, done that, it makes it very difficult to grow up and trust people. And it makes you see people for what they really are very early on in life, which kind of sucks because you don't have the advantage of learning the hard way. You're kind of already forearmed, and you're just like, oh. But I guess in a way that protects you, doesn't leave you wide open for the crazy that most people have to kind of deal with, because you're already there. But that is its disadvantages. No one should have to walk through life like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely. And I'm sorry that it's happening now. I'm sorry that there's people that have to stay home. I know I've talked to a few people who voluntarily went back to work just because they lived in apartments by themselves and they had no other way to get out and see people.
Yeah.
So they voluntarily went back to work knowing that the doctor's offices and stuff, knowing that it could be dangerous for this mythological, whatever, I shouldn't even say that, but this virus that's going around and, this pandemic that's happening.
Yeah.
So
I just wish people would reach out. And if you reach out and the person's an asshole, it doesn't mean everyone is. And people are dealing with their own stuff. People are on guard and they're defensive, So even though they might feel bad about it, like, oh crap, But again, there's a lot of hostility right now, especially in retail. Shame on all you people acting foolish. Acting entitled. It's shame. But, we have to, we're opening up. Life's going to go back to normal. Retail people are actually human beings, just in case you didn't know that. They are. I'm so tired of seeing the posts, man.
What posts?
Well, should certain people be able to? This woman posted a meme. Retail workers still work in these environments no matter what time you're shopping or what day you're shopping. She's like, well, how about it's not a meme, it was actually a post on Twitter or something. And she was like, well, can we just shop at certain hours? The people who don't want to wear masks can shop at certain hours of the day, And I'm like, and the person on the bottom even responded to it. They're like, you really don't even care. Like, you really don't think that we're just there to do whatever. That's a special kind of rage. So we're not even human enough. You know what I mean? I just want to say it. That's bullshit. Like, that's ignorant. We're all human beings. And just because we work in a retail shop does not mean that I should risk my life so that you shouldn't have to wear a mask or whatever. That's absurd. And that is when stupidity should be painful. You're stupid. You're stupid. thinking stupid. Like, I just get so mad. You know, how dare you? Retail people, I don't care if you're a waitress, I don't care if you're a janitor, I don't give a shit if you're, oh, and the people who cleaned the nursing homes. Let me just give them some kudos. And the hospitals. Did anybody even say a word? They're people too. I'm done now. Sorry, I'm a little hot. But, you know, I'm sick and tired of seeing that. I don't understand why. You're the same person. The same people who watch the show. The same people who post on Facebook. You're all people. Like, I'm not understanding how you can look at somebody who sits in some sort of retail or server position and not see them as a person. Think that you're an exception to the rule. So does that mean that you get to shop during that time and not, so that means nobody should be there working. I should not have to help you, right? You're self-serve. Is that how it would go? Because why should I be there with my mask and you not? Why should I risk my life for your absurd, entitled, bougie, first world ass? Really? I'm sick of it. And I'll say it. I'm saying it. I'm the retail worker that's saying what every retail worker is thinking. Because I shouldn't have, but I did. So, you know, I just can't. We're all going through it. All of us. We've all gone through it, been through it, and we are people. And you have to respect the existence of people. It's almost like you're invisible. You know, that's wrong. And it's worse now than ever. It's like after everybody got released to be able to go shop, like they ever didn't come to where we work, you know. But it seems like it's even worse than before. And that little Twitter, that just set me right off. I was like, wow, okay. You know, don't be that person.
Yeah, well, I know that they're, like you said earlier, it's very split about the masks. Some people don't want to wear the masks. Some people can't wear them because of breathing problems that they might have.
Mm-hmm. I have asthma. I wear mine.
But I think it's all in degrees. I know the other day I was sitting in a doctor's office with David, and we were just sitting in the waiting room, and I had my mask on, and I was like, oh my God, I was dying because I was having an asthma attack right then, just sitting in the waiting room because the mask and I guess there wasn't enough. So I don't know what it was, but
yeah. And I understand that. I get it. I understand that. But at the same time, there's got to be more consideration. You know, we've been literally thrown under the bus since this all started. We've been seen as expendable, non-existent people. Everybody matters. Everybody. Those stores and restaurants and businesses don't run by magic. You know, it's human beings who are just as susceptible as anyone else. And that goes right down to giving a shit about each other. You should care enough. Whether or not it makes sense to you, you should care enough to have the consideration. And especially not ask for special treatment and still put people at risk. Like, you're absurd. That is, to me, that is, you're on a whole other level of, let me kick your pedestal out from underneath you kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me. If more people cared about each other's well-being and considered each other, be more considerate of each other, you know, it would be a different world. And I think people would be a lot healthier. Because it really goes down to how we treat each other. We're the only things that we interact. The only thing that's pure are animals. Well, and babies. Babies are just babies. You know.
And that's just it. That has a lot to do with this book. There's a book again. It talks about how when we're born with our own personality and our own everything, our own intentions. We can't speak them yet, but we're born with everything that we need. And then somebody else's agenda comes into it and starts molding us as people and molding. So babies I agree with you. Babies are pure.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like other than animals, they're the only perfect thing. You know, they're just so wonderful and perfect and just wonderful, you know, and there's just so much hope in them and so much wonderful, you know, there's so many dreams because it's all brand new and you think, it could happen, you know, this kid could end up doing anything, you know, with the proper support system and community behind them, they would achieve great things. We have to come together. That's the solution, is we have to come, everybody that is unity, we have to unite, and we have to remember that we are, first of all, we have to remember we're just animals that think higher. It's all we are. We're not.
We have like opposable thumbs.
Yeah. You know, I mean, there's like 2% of our DNA that separates us from a chimpanzee or whatever. I mean, we're just not that freaking epic. You know what I mean? We have tailbones. We're animals. You know, we've just adapted to become what we are now. You know, the long hair. But at one point, we all had hair on our bodies, and we were pretty much walking on all fours. And you know, so we're just not this epic thing. But we need each other. You know, we need each other, and if we come together and we work with each other and we take care of each other, we will thrive and we will do great things. But the division is severe, and the more you divide us, you see how we fail when we're divided, right? You see how things go down. You know, things change, and it's always for the bad. It's never for the good. The moment that we unite and become one, like we're supposed to, well, things just blow open. You know, when we all come together for a thing, we make change, great change, you know? So why don't we come together for us as a whole and make great change within our own communities? One giant community with little sub-communities everywhere. No matter where you go, it doesn't matter what language you speak, who's singing your song, or whatever, you will be part of the community as a whole. Think of it as like the universe. You know, and then Earth is a little sub-community, whereas where you sit, you know. And so we're here, but I'm going to go to Spain, and because we all just love each other, I will be treated no differently there. And you watch this planet flourish. You watch great things happen, and they know that. All the powers that be know that. So you have to keep people at odds. Otherwise, people won't get sick as sick as they do. They won't need as much mental health counseling as they do. They won't need as many student loans as they do. They won't need, you know, take their cars to the mechanics. You know, I mean, all of the things that we would take care of for each other. You know, but you can't get taxes off your, you know, friend next door can fix your car now, can you? You know, you can't. It's really all about just keeping the money flowing. It doesn't matter at what expense. And unfortunately, we wouldn't even need money if we all came together. It'd be like Star Trek. We could just all live on the barter system. Whatever each other needed, we would just give each other. And things wouldn't matter then. It wouldn't be, oh, I've got a gold ring. So, you know, because it would be worthless at that point. You know, what is the point? Gold means nothing other than just being ornamental. Oh, that's beautiful. I love your gold ring. It doesn't mean you're better than me, though, because it's technically worthless. So the only thing that matters is what it's worth to you, because you don't need it to buy anything. So you go to the local farm, you know, and say, oh, hey, I made a scrapbook. Can I trade you some corn and beans? And they're like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? And we would just support each other. And we wouldn't need... Yeah. And it would be a very productive, and oh my God, and the pollution would be cut in half. It would be a healthier world for everybody. You would notice illnesses going down. Just the mere, just coming together and knowing that there was love for one another, people's physical health would change. When you're happier, you feel better. Your body heals faster. You feel good. More happiness, more contentment, healthier people. Wounds heal quicker. It would be a very happy, thriving society.
And hopefully we can hopefully we can get there someday. But in the meantime, we're still here in this reality dealing with, government control, whatever specific state, county, even city, we're all controlled to some perspective. But, it's, so I put the number up for just a general crisis hotline that anybody can call. So, but there's also, if you just look up crisis services on Facebook, there's a whole page for that with telephone numbers. I put up the Niagara County crisis services. And so that's a local number. And then I also put up, because we didn't really touch on this, but the veterans are extremely always depressed and, have lots of health issues and, everything else. So I also put up the Erie County Veteran Services number. So if anybody needs help, so if you're seeing this on Facebook or you're seeing this on YouTube, here's the telephone numbers that you can call. So if you're within the sound of my voice, but you're not watching, the number for crisis hotline is 877-995-5247. And then for crisis services on Facebook, you just put that in the little search window. And then, so we have Niagara County Crisis Services. If you can hear me, but you're not looking at your phone or your laptop, the telephone number is 716-285-3515. If you want to grab a pen, 716-215-3515. Write it on a napkin or an envelope, write it on something, 716-285-3515. And then the Veteran Services for Erie County is 716-858-6363. So, and then of course, you can always reach out to the Virgos. You can comment on this post, put your comments in here. We can even talk with you privately if you want to. And also if you're seeing this on YouTube, same thing. If you want to just put your comments or your concerns into the comments, and then, you can chat with us and we'll help you. So, but I think this was a nice discussion. I'm glad that we talked about it and got it out.
Yeah, me too.
So, and you brought up a lot of really good points. So I'm glad. So, hey, Joshy, hater hacker.
Hey.
It's been nice meeting you. So we are the Two Virgos, and that's the name of our little group here. So every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be on live. So if you want to go to YouTube, you can look up White Light Mystic. That's my page. We haven't put one together yet for Two Virgos. And so White Light Mystic, you'll see a picture of me dangling a pendulum in my hand. And I think I have red hair in that picture or purple hair. And then, so like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, please. And if you see us on Facebook, share this with your friends. Take down those telephone numbers if anybody needs help or needs assistance. Even if you don't know if anybody needs help or assistance, it's good to have the numbers on hand. Yeah. So was there anything else that you wanted to put in there?
You please reach out, get help. Reach out to somebody. Just don't. It's just not worth it, man. Your life's precious.
Yeah. And I can talk to anybody about anything. So even if you want to get a hold of me on here and talk about pens, the kind of pens you're using, whatever you want to talk about, I will talk your ear off about anything. So maybe you just need somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
I'm that girl. So you can get a hold of us for anything.
Yep.
I'm not very good at Toastmasters at all, but I'm very good at public speaking, just not Toastmasters. I was horrible at that. So I can't keep things linear. I just talk whatever's on the brain at that time.
Yep.
So, all right then. So you think we should call it, and then we will be back here next Tuesday at the same time, same bat time, same bat station. So
all right.
Thank you, everybody. If you're on YouTube on the White Light Mystic, please, 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 please like and subscribe. And if you're on Facebook, please share this with all your friends. So Everybody have a good night.
Have a good night.
We'll see you later.
Say
God
guten
bless.
Tag. Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
All right. We'll see you later. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.